Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. The title is not clickbait, by the way. I did actually fracture both of my knees, so let's get into it. All right, guys, so I don't even know how to start this. I'm sure some of you noticed that maybe the content over the last few months felt a little out of place, I guess. Some of the information might have been a little out of date. There's actually a very logical reason for that. In August, I joined the United States Army and went away to basic training. Yay. Now, why did I decide to join the Army? Long story short, I had done IT for 4 years. I have done software development for just shy of 5 years, and I had been laid off twice in the last 3 years. And the industry just wasn't looking stable. It was getting more and more difficult for people to find jobs. And I had an associate's degree in computer science, but that was becoming less and less valuable. And I was like, I'm going to need to go back to school. I'm going to need to reskill, go back to IT, something, right? Like something needed to change. And that takes a lot of time, a lot of money. And I thought I could get a lot of this taken care of through the Army. So I joined. My MOS, or my job, would have been a 25 hotel, which is basically networking. Would be really, really cool, a lot of fun, a lot of good experience. I'd be able to go back to school, get that paid for, do my 4 years and come out with a much more stable career and hopefully get through whatever crap is going on with AI and everything in the tech industry. Editing Badger here. One thing that I forgot to mention was a few weeks after quitting my software job to go to Army basic training, I found out that the small company that I was working for laid off roughly 60% of their staff. They didn't even have 100 employees. So I would have been laid off again for the third time in just as many years. So it's rough out there, guys. Anyway, back to the video. Well, about 5 weeks in to my basic training experience in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, I developed 5, count them, 5 stress fractures. I had 2 level 4, very severe level 4 stress fractures in my knees. I developed a level 3 in my right foot, and then I developed 2 level 1 stress fractures going horizontally along my shins. They sent me on what's called con leave, which just meant I went home for 30 days and basically was instructed to bed rot to try and heal. And then I went back. So I went home at the end of September, went back to basic training at the end of October. They did a bunch of tests and they were like, look, you're not healing as quickly as we want you to. So we are just going to medically discharge you. And if you want, you can come back again in a year. I thought, well, this is stupid, but I don't want to get hurt. So yeah, maybe I do come back in a year. And then I sat and waited to go home until December 18th. What was I doing during that time? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So in this scenario, even though I'm getting discharged, they have deemed that I'm too hurt and it's not safe to continue training. I also am still technically a trainee. So I have to follow all the rules. I have all the regulations. I have to wear the uniform. I basically, whatever they're doing that day, I have to do with the trainees, but not actually do the training. Like, for example, we went to the range to get training for shooting. I had to go to the range and sit outside all day. I wasn't allowed to shoot. Like, it's the weirdest thing. I didn't have access to my phone. I didn't have the ability to like go shopping or go off base. It was a nightmare. And like, I finally got home December 18th and they didn't even know if I was going to get home in time for Christmas. Like, it was insane. Now, my husband, he joined for very similar reasons. He graduated in November. They were nice enough to let me see him graduate. That was actually up in the air. They didn't know if I was going to be allowed to see him graduate. And he's now at what's called AIT, or Advanced Individualized Training, where he is learning how to do his job, which is 25 Bravo help desk technician. And he came home for victory block leave, or their holiday break, on December 18th. Little side note, it was super cute. His plane landed 15 minutes before mine did, and he met me at the gate in his uniform holding this adorable little teddy bear, and he'd gotten me chocolate and stuff like that. And so, post 9/11, this story never happens. We're not normally able to meet people at the gate like that, so that was at least adorable. But before going to basic training, I did pre-record a bunch of stuff and scheduled it to be uploaded, and I did my best to pick topics that I was passionate about, but also things that I didn't foresee changing. Some things, obviously, like with RAM or Star Citizen, they changed. So that did create a little bit of some issues there. But now I'm home, and my husband doesn't graduate AIT until about April, and at that point we will move. So I am not sure where we're moving. I'm trying to find some sort of a job, and the job industry has gotten even worse since I left. I'm applying for everything. I got a food handler's permit and I can't get a job at McDonald's. So, which I guess is somewhat okay, because it's not safe for me to currently stand for too long because of the stress fractures. Anyway, I am just kind of rambling. The whole point is to let you guys know what has been happening and what my plans are for the channel moving forward. So I have a couple of things. I do want to cover a little bit more of the news. If I can, I actually want to rope my husband in, see if we can get on a Discord call together, and I could update him at the same time updating you guys of a lot of the news in the industry, gaming, entertainment, technology, etc., etc. I think that'd be really fun. He's extremely smart. He's a lifelong gamer. He'd have a lot more insight than me, which brings me to my next point of what I would like to try and do. I started gaming about 9 years ago, 9 years ago. I'm not a lifelong gamer. I've played a lot of really good games, Diablo 2 and 3, Ark, Helldivers, obviously, Pal World, Killing Floor 2. I know I'm Enshrouded. I'm missing a handful. Space Marine 2. I played a bunch of stuff, but unlike my husband, who is a lifelong gamer and has played since he was a very wee lad, there's a lot of really cool games that I've missed out on. So since my husband is at AIT for Christmas, he bought me a handful of single player games that are a little bit older that he thought I would enjoy. I'll put a list up here on the screen of some of these ones that he bought. That they include Witcher 3, Mass Effect, Red Dead 2, a whole bunch of games. Division 2, actually, I heard about Division 3, and I really wanted to talk about Division 3, but I have no frame of reference. So I now own Division 2. He got me that so I can play that. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to maybe stream that as kind of a little bit more of a noob, getting the hands-on experience with a lot of these nostalgia games and see if they're actually as good as everyone says they are. If that's something you guys would be interested in, please let me know. I don't know exactly what platform I would stream on: Twitch, YouTube, Kick, X. I am also going to need to work out my internet. Right now I have Verizon wireless internet at my mother-in-law's house, which is where I'm staying. I'm trying to see if I could get something else set up. Maybe Starlink. I don't know that I trust satellite internet, but if I can't get something actually wired in here, that might be better than nothing. But that is a little bit of a hold up. So, but let me know. And if there's other games that you guys think would be cool to play, to kind of fill out my library, definitely let me know in the comments. I am pretty broke, So if they're too expensive, that will be an issue. If you guys see anything on sale on Steam that you think would be awesome, definitely keep me in the loop. I'd really love to use these next few months, sadly away from my husband, but being able to kind of build out my experience and kind of understand these older games that you all love and why you love them. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I must be a tourist because I haven't played these older games and I haven't been gaming my whole life. That being said, I collaborate with my husband on pretty much all of my videos in the gaming space. He just hasn't been as comfortable being on camera. But again, like I said, with the news videos, he wants to kind of try doing more collaborations. So that we can get both sides of these stories. And next, I would actually like to continue covering tech on this channel, but I am a little concerned that if it's too tech related, that it's not something that will fit into this niche. So I did start a second channel called Lady in Dev. I will have that linked as a collaborator and in the description, where if I want to talk a little bit more about technology, like I'd love to talk about different technology history stories, tech fails. You know, you're looking at like Cloudflare having all these issues recently, CrowdStrike, being able to dive a little bit more into that, maybe even do a little bit of like, I'm studying for my A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, maybe do some coding streams, stuff like that would be more on that channel. Unless you guys would prefer to just see all of it on this channel, it doesn't quite seem like it would fit the niche. So while some tech would still be covered here, if it seems more appropriate to go on the Lady in Dev channel, it will go over there. I also want to start, kind of like I said, covering a little bit more entertainment. However, I did start a third channel as well. It's called Super Fresh Coconut Vanilla Lady. I have to give credit to my husband. It was his idea. But there's been a couple of things that I just wanted to make a video about that doesn't really fit on this channel. For example, Raycon seems to be sponsoring everybody. I bought Raycon headphones and I have some opinions, but it doesn't really fit on this channel. So I have kind of that Super Fresh Coconut Vanilla Lady channel. Again, I have that channel linked as collaboration and in the description, where I could kind of put whatever I want on that channel. So I'm kind of thinking more like internet drama, conspiracy theories, maybe some true crime. Again, like I really want to do reviews of some of these sponsors that we see all the time. I think that would be a lot of fun. Really just kind of anything that doesn't fit either of these two niches. And if entertainment on this channel doesn't go over very well, it will end up over there. So if either of those two, I guess, niches interest you, please feel free to subscribe. Also, bear with me. I'm trying to reset up my technology. I'm trying to get better equipment, but again, I don't have any money. And I am in my mother-in-law's house. It's kind of a small room here. Very appreciative for her to allow me to stay here while my husband finishes his training, but I am a little bit limited to things like background and whatnot. So any suggestions that you guys have to kind of make things look good or perform better, anything as far as like scripting goes, I want to try to have a mix of scripted content and unscripted content. But maybe you guys don't like that. Anyway, just let me know what you think. Those are my plans, but obviously I'm making content that I hope, you guys want to view or interact with. So let me know what your thoughts are. I also, I keep going back and forth. I might make some polls on the channel so I can get a little bit more feedback from you guys. Anyway, yeah, so it's been crazy. I'm learning. I'm really excited to take this journey with you guys. I appreciate your patience and everyone that has stuck around. I hope to be involved a little bit more in the comments as well. Yeah, so crazy updates. That's ultimately all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and peace out.